everyone, I made it. I am 20 minutes late. I am so sorry. I broke down. I was leaving the workhouse. I remembered I forgot to lock something. I turned around and it just stalled. It just totally quit on me. So the cows are hungry. Oh, we are going to do this live stream while we do some chores real quick. Little guy's underneath me in the barn trying to climb the ladder. My in-laws are here because fortunately they were both close by to where I broke down. So my father-in-law came, hooked me up to a chain, towed me a mile back to his work, and left the Suburban there. Called my mother-in-law. She took half the kids. I went with Grandpa with half the kids and got back to the farm. Oh my. So I gotta see if I can get down here. Oh, I got a little guy trying to help me. Before I know it, George is climbing halfway up the ladder, and I am taking you down the ladder. Not an easy thing to do one-handed. I'm gonna make you guys all dizzy from this moving around. No. Yeah, Georgie's here, everybody. Say hi. Can you say hi? He's wearing sandals in the barn, and he knows he has straw in his shoes. Come on. Yes. We'll have to go out and fix it. So, I know I look like heck. I've been doing yard work. I was like an hour and a half late getting home. Probably even later than that. This day's been a wreck. So, in the town that the workhouse is in, cities offer a service where they haul away all your brush. And they do it every first and third Tuesday of the month. So today's Sunday. They're going to come by and get stuff. Well, my father-in-law went over and mowed the house for me because we had other troubles with the Suburbans recently. And there'll be a video going up about that. It just got a bunch of work done on it. It got about, in the last month, 4 or 5 repairs. So he's thinking a control module, everything's computerized, that came with the tune-up kit was bad. And I was probably driving again for 2 or 3 days. Yes, I have George! So he's thinking that one of those parts was bad and shorted out. Of course, he's got me on the side of the road at an intersection talking about on the phone fuses, and I'm trying to figure out if any fuses were blown. Nothing was coming up. So I don't know. I don't know how the battery light was showing on the dashboard. If you guys have any ideas about what it could be, let me know. Because my gosh, I did a U-turn in a parking lot and headed back towards town. And as I was pulling out of the parking lot, I was just starting to give it some gas and it sputtered a little bit and stalled out. So the battery light was on. It was pulling 11, 12 amps on the battery, and none of the fuses were blown. Couldn't find anything like that. So he'll figure it out. He always does. It just sucks so bad because, it's a 20-year-old vehicle. It's the only vehicle that suits the whole family. And I've got the old Buick here. The kids and I can run it. It needs a brake line, but he could have that back on the road tomorrow. I just don't like being without my Suburban. It's my favorite ride. So we're going to give these cows some hay. Got the water going. I don't think that he fed them when he got home ahead of me. There's some lazy cows laying around today. He must have fed them actually because they are laying around. They're not mooing at me. So, ooh, the sun. It's a bright sunny day. So here's a shout out for you. I have a friend that is also a YouTuber, and he doesn't make a lot of videos. His name is Warren, and he is in Canada. You should go over and check out his channel. He's on Instagram also, and I follow him very closely on Instagram. Warren, I encourage you to make videos about these little calves that you got because I think it's really exciting. It was a hard winter and it was a hard calving season around here. So, if I had more time on my hands, I would love to take some little dairy steers. If you're not familiar, when you're in milk production, they take the baby calves, they basically sell off the steers, and I'm interested to know what the steer prices are in your area where you're at, because when we first got into farming, you could pick up steers for like a maximum of $50. Then they started going up like $75, $100. Then all of a sudden they skyrocketed and people wanted $300 or $400 for a bottle calf, which just seemed crazy to me. All right, I gotta prop you guys up. We're feeding them square bales right now, and I just throw them over the fence. This is chocolate, if you can see them. No, you can't see them. His ivermectin is wore off. It's a pour-on, and the flies really go after him. So I always try to throw the leaves of hay right at his back. And it kind of giving him a bit of a dust bath from all the little leaves falling off of the bales. And he stands there, he likes it. All right. George has got a handful of hay to feed them also. He's right here with his mama. Yes, this is a new title for me. All of my kids have always called me mommy, and grandma was mama. And this little guy isn't around his grandma as much, and he started calling me mama. So of course, because he calls me mama, Bethany decided to start calling me mama. It's just nice. You know, little sweet happy things for the soul. Have a little person loving on you, calling you mama. The trouble is, what do the grandkids call you? My daughter had her first child when I was a mom of 3 little boys, and then my daughter. So to them, I'm mommy. My mind could not get around being called grandma because I'm mommy. So she called me Grandma Ho Ho. When I was little, my family called me JoJo. So, short for Jolene. It was just easy for like my brother and sister who were slightly older than me to call me JoJo. And my cousins that lived nearby, we saw a lot, still call me JoJo. I'm a grown woman and I'm a grandma, and I'm JoJo to them. But I call them their names too. So it's hard to start calling somebody by their proper name. Like my cousin Lawrence goes by Larry now, and my cousin Butch only goes by Dan. It's just interesting. A lot of nicknames in our house. So small towns, you know, little families, close knit. I spent as much time with my aunt and my cousins as I did my mom. Kind of came about with being the youngest of 4 kids, that I was in tow with my mom all the time. I was really close with my aunt when I was young. I said she was my favorite. I'd love to sit on her lap and hug her because she was soft and squishy. She was a plus-size woman. Oh, got these girl cows. I have one cow. She's being kind of bossy right here, and she kind of, the bull here, they're actually brother and sister, and then there's 2 baby calves in here that were born early spring or late winter. But this one is getting pushed around, and she is not recovering from birth like I would have expected her to. So we had her separated off for a long time, but now we're finding we can't even feed them together because she pushes her off and then doesn't get her food. So like right now, mom's eating, the calf decides he's gonna come and get some milk. But he kind of gets in the way. This bossy here shoves him around. Oh. Kind of torn between separating her off into another pen or letting them kind of fight it out. I'm more used to chickens, and in a flock with chickens, they sort it out. Baby took off on me and went to Dad. We'll see what they're doing. Turn my hose off. You guys know how I like to leave the hoses turned on. And that one's almost full. I was half expecting rain coming here. Like I literally got home, said hi, walked around, and remembered the live stream. I'm late. If you made it, I'm glad you made it. Got to get this hose turned off. Hi, Bethany.
I have a bunch of you.
You have a whole bunch of love for your brothers?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that is a beautiful picture.
Thanks.
Is that an apple tree?
Uh-huh. It's outside.
Is this the bus?
Uh-huh.
Is it broken?
No.
Hi.
No.
It's not broken in your picture?
No.
Okay.
It's Hot Wheels.
Oh.
This is a win.
All right.
And the Hot Wheels is outside.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Hey. She loves her brothers. Murdoch. Oh, he left me. Well, my plan was we're going to do an unboxing. Jack, could you get us our boxes? Could you bring us out the 4 little boxes?
Mommy, this is a great birthday.
Thank you, buddy. We're going to show everybody on YouTube our surprise. This is a little better than running around feeding animals, isn't it?
Yep, we're going to show you all the surprise and all 4 little boxes.
Yeah, 4, maybe 5 boxes.
And
So,
it rhymes with
I know I'm a
heart.
mess. I'm sorry.
No.
There was no time. I was able to wash my hands. I had to clean out eaves troughs at the workhouse today and start trimming branches, and it started raining. That's why my hair is a wreck. So, kind of tame this mess. I had thought, oh, it's time to head home. We need dinner.
And also, I'm going to play a dressing up game today. Guess what you have to do in that dressing up game? You have to make something first for the game, and then put it in someone else's dresser first before you start the game. No. And then you can fit it on, and you can, since we don't have our own rooms, we have to close our closet doors.
Yes.
And I'm going, so it's me against Modoc, and he is lifting that box.
Okay. All right. Let's show what the boys are doing here. So we got a delivery, and I was waiting for you guys for tonight. They are bringing this out. I thought they would bring me the 4 small boxes, but they're bringing all of them. Okay. Now, could anybody be persuaded to bring me a Coke on Ice? Sure. Thank you so much. You guys look hot too.
So here's our first box. It has something
All right.
in it. And it runs a pump.
So, we've got a video coming up. I was editing it the other day. I'm going to hand off George to his brother because he thinks it's time for his drinky poo.
And that is not his mama.
If he's going to cry, you got to take him away. We're live.
Yeah, man.
It's hard for babies to know this, right? There is a semi-new channel to us that my husband has been watching, and the little kid went around on the gator at their farm, going around telling everybody else, I'm live, as he was going around filming everything.
So we're opening up this box,
Yep.
and Mommy's doing the work with her knife. Cut the squishy salt pork.
I have a tendency to
And
work too fast,
ta-da!
so I'm gonna cut these open, and Bethany can talk to you for a minute.
Honey! We have honey!
Well, we don't have honey here.
Oh yeah, we think we have some honey in this box. Oh no, not that one.
So yesterday, maybe today, I forget which it is. I should know this. On my Google homepage, there was mention of it being National Honeybee Day. So I clicked on the story, and if you're interested in that, go and read it. It talks about different ways that you can help the honeybees. So I have a video coming up later this week. Maybe it's Wednesday or Friday. I'm kind of off on my schedule right now. And you can learn different things that you can do to help the honeybees. And the first thing I can tell you about helping the honeybees is don't mow your yard. I know it can drive like your neighbors nuts, but if you're out in the country like me, we didn't mow for a little while, and the sunflowers just took the dandelions took right off. They did really well. So every year I try to not mow in the spring and let all those spring flowers really go. I got to show you what Trey's doing. It's amazing that my phone ever has any battery at all, because all the kids have Kindles, and on top of their Kindles, they're going around setting up Wi-Fi so that they can use it, and then I'm going around filming things. Let's see what he's doing. I don't know how to change direction on this. Oh, I see it now. Okay, so he's out there power washing a rim for a tractor. We'll see about that in a minute. Okay, we have had some local interest in beekeeping. So in this upcoming video that I have coming out this week, I mentioned about setting up and selling bees. It's called Nucleus Hive. So earlier this spring, I did a review of an Easy Nuc or Easy Nuke. It's short for nucleus. They just spell it N-U-C. So they sell you these cardboard boxes. This is the lid. And this is a box of supplies that I got from Man Lake. It's like manlakeltd.com. And this is a little bit different. They didn't have the Easy Nukes. So I got to figure out how to put one of these together. And it doesn't look terrible hard. I think if you've ever put together a banking box or a banker's box, we could probably figure this out. These were about $7.95 a piece, so they were a little less expensive, I think. And when I first was looking, I was actually looking at an old catalog, but these are corrugated plastic. They will fold up to be able to hold the frames and work as a temporary beehive for the bees. So we can set up extra bees and sell them off. When you have a successful year and the bees are wanting to swarm, you just keep doing splits. And normally you're doing splits to manage your hive and to naturally grow your hives. And it's a great way to get into learning more about bees, because you start learning more about what the bees are doing, when and why, instead of just waiting for them to produce honey and adding a super. So there are a few different books that I've gotten recently. One was called Swarm Essentials, and I think the other one was... Thank you, Murdoch. He brings me a Coke as he's drinking it up.
Well, I got you some. Better than getting you nothing.
Thank you very much. I had a gallon of water with me all day long today. So we do have honey production in spite of focusing on the bee production this year. That being said, we're getting ready to harvest some honey. I have two 60-pound supers that are ready to come off anytime I can get out there this week to start extracting some honey. So here's what I have. This is sealed. You got your foil seal there. And plastic for shipping honey jars. So let's see, I ordered these nice little tubs for creamed honey. And this is about a little bit bigger than my 4-ounce mason jar that I had. So close to the same size. It's going to affect the shipping one way or another. The priority shipping boxes don't come in a good... Did you just stick that on there?
I think it was in the cap.
Yes, it is, but it's the safety seal. You can't stick them on yet.
I didn't know that it was in the cap.
Okay, well, it's in the cap. So, we've got some different sizes here. Can you get me one from there, too? So, this one is for creamed honey, and this is 1 pound, 16 ounces. And honey is sold by weight, not by volume. It weighs differently. Okay, that's the same size one.
Yeah, they're all the same size.
Okay. No, put them back. I only wanted one. Here you go. Oh! Disasters!
Yes,
Okay.
I know.
What else do we have here? Okay, here's the mini one. And I think this said it was 8 ounce. So even though I did say in the video I am eliminating the 4 ounce, this is pretty darn close. I think this said it was actually 8 ounces by weight, not by volume. Okay, and this is the big granddaddy. This is the 3 pound. So you can see there's still plenty. Sorry about that. There's still plenty of choices for you for your honey. All right. So here we've got 3 pound, 2 pound, 1 pound, 8 ounce, and a 16-ounce creamed honey. We did have previously in our Etsy store 4-ounce jars, half pints, full pints, and quarts. And the trouble I have had with that is at the post office, of course, they ask you if it's perishable, if it's fragile, if it's liquid. Well, honey's not a liquid and it's not a solid, but technically it would be in an airline, you know, considered a liquid because like hair gel is.
Semi-solid.
So, and then you've got your creamed honey, and it's not liquid at all.
Your honey solid?
Oh my gosh, I would not want to be the guy at the factory boxing these up. So we've got a good variety for you.
I would.
And
That's pretty easy.
we're going to be filling this up this week. So I'll sell off or repackage the mason jar ones that I have in storage, and then we'll be able to get these plastic ones out to you. The priority shipping has trouble with like the flat rate boxes, and I was choosing the priority shipping because of the mason jars. It is automatically insured up to maybe $100. Where I was dropping off my jars, prepackaged in a box with the label pre-done, sometimes they would mark it fragile and sometimes they would forget. And like right now I have a package going to Ohio, and I sent it out on the 13th and he hasn't received it yet. He should have got it yesterday. So I do everything I can to get it to you as fast as I can. But if we can save money by switching to first class or just plain priority that's not a flat rate box, they do offer a smaller box, which will accommodate these different size bottles a lot better than a mason jar. Of course, we bubble wrap it, and I'll still have to pack it to some degree to make sure it doesn't jostle around in the box too much just to use up that empty space. I think it'll be a good change. I think it'll be a real good change. You do what you can do.
What's that?
This is the Nucleus Beehive box.
Oh.
But sometimes if things aren't working out right the way you do it, you just gotta try to find other solutions, right?
How do you build it?
Well, they printed some instructions here somewhere, Murdoch.
There's a lot of stuff at the bottom.
Okay, here we go. Fold and score and talk to your viewers and film at the same time. The use of a stapler may help in assembling this to keep it assembled. I know a lot of people just slap Band-Aids, rubber bands around them, real heavy shipping rubber bands, and I think that'll probably do. I don't want to go spend money on a special stapler for something like this if you don't have to. Just flap, that flap, 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 flap. Lots of flaps. So Man Lake is out of Minnesota, California, Pennsylvania, and Texas. I think, and of course, you know, you order, and then as soon as you start relaxing, you remember something else that you forgot. I also ordered what's called a queen catcher. Open this up.
What's this?
That's the lid. The lid is easy. I can do that. I can do that without instructions. I'm a little smart. So I ordered this queen catcher. I actually had to do a hive inspection this last week, and they were split. So they were new queens that didn't come from someplace else. They were queens that were made here in these beehives. And I had to mark the queen. And she moves fast. So this is like a hair clip. You just, and she gets in there. So that'll close right up so that she can't get out. It's got openings for her for air. And then if you need to, like if you're collecting a swarm off of something, we have a neighbor that has some bees in her house, and I've got a tree that's got some bees. I can try to catch the queen in this and stick her right in my pocket to keep her safeguarded, and then drop her into the hive box. and then all the other bees will go with her. That's the trick to getting rid of bees where you don't want them. There's also another trick. It's called Bee Gone, and you use it on this special board when you want to extract your honey.
Are
You
these
put that on
supposed
there.
to go on the inside or the outside?
Oh, I haven't read all the instructions all the way through yet. But the lid'll be easy. So
Looks like it goes on the outside.
maybe we should just do one.
Well, I'll do it.
Okay, I'll work on the lid. Here's the instructions.
I don't need instructions. I figured it out.
Murdoch says he can figure it out.
I already figured it out.
Well, I don't think it's terrible difficult here. Just follow the folds, right? So before I forget, while I'm doing this, I was mentioning the honey. See, that just folds together real easy. If you go on the channel homepage, up in the corner, on the left-hand side, there is a link to our Instagram. And every few days, 4 or 5 days, I try to post something about the farm on there. It's all farm related. There's our lid, nice and easy. And then the other link is to the Etsy store. And then you can go right on there, order maple syrup. You can order maple taps and tubing if you like, and the honey. I'm kind of on the fence. I was thinking about locally we can sell stuff like hand lotions, salves, lip balm, and they're nice packages for a homemade product. I don't know if I really want to get into selling it away. We've done them locally. Tractor Supply has farmer market days, and we've tried some local farmers markets on the weekend. I'm not a real big fan of the farmer market thing. We had one kind of near us, and they have kind of a do not compete clause, and you can't sell something that somebody else is selling. Well, if you're all farmers, you're all selling fruits and vegetables and things like that, and we use our garden for our own use, so I didn't want to get into doing that. We have tons of excess rhubarb, but I can't really take it to a farmer's market and sell it because then I'm competing with somebody else. There are people who might have a sideline of selling some honey or some maple syrup, so they won't let somebody new come in and sell your honey and maple syrup because they don't want that person to do poorly. And really, if you're sitting there, you need to be making sales, and I can be making sales on Etsy while I'm out in the field plowing and disking and doing all that neat stuff that he's been teaching me how to do. I'm being a good farm wife. I'm learning how to do stuff and not just be at the house feeding him and the guys, and you know I do everything. I feed the animals, I do the home repairs, I manage the rentals, and I deal with the tenants and the repairs there. So Murdoch's coming along pretty good here. We'll switch our camera view and see how he's doing. So how do you think it's coming? This is what it's showing for instructions. And they're pretty good instructions. I mean, I gotta say, usually... No, he says he doesn't need instructions. Because if it was just this, that's why I was saying flap, 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 flap. Too much. Now, they have these little plugs here for the entrance. And you have to buy that separately if you want that in it. This circle can be knocked out, and you can staple like window screen on it and have a little better ventilation if you like. But these are real handy to have on hand for catching swarms also, because they can hold 5 frames of bees. And if you put drawn comb from another beehive or previously used for honey, they'll move right in. got to bend it the right way, otherwise it won't be right, Murdoch. Take a look at these and I'll come back to you, okay?
I already think I figured it out.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't look like it's lining up right. I have confidence in you, but I'd appreciate it if you looked at it so that you don't tear something, okay? Looky here what I came home to. The 40 tractor has been moved to the garage. And let's see how these guys are. Oh, they're on wheel and tire number 2. We were late for the live stream, guys, but we're here. I show up and he puts me to work. I got out of the truck. Oh my! I don't think I can do it one-handed. I can prop it up and help you. Coffee cups come in nice and handy for this. Sorry, guys. Gotta get you propped up just right. Got it?
They're so stiff, they don't want to.
Okay. Well, you know how much this guy likes to do tires. I definitely. There's no fair going on. So, nope, not right now. The 730 diesel got moved and pulled out. We've got a video coming up about that. Oh, probably in a week. Craig decided he wanted some tires. We had a bad tire, and they were too small. So we had the right size tires and the right size tubes on hand for the job. This guy came home from work today and he got right to it.
Found out we have different rims.
Oh yeah?
I just want to show the rims. These are 1290 and those are 1268 and there's a 1274. Well, this one's supposed to be stronger, but those are prettier. See how you can see that lip come up like that?
Yeah.
This is a different style.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we looked around, we have to draw all mixed up.
Really? Because they've been swapped out of various places. Well, and he was saying too, when he bought this tractor, he bought 2 tractors. He also got the clamshell fenders for them. So we're going to be putting fenders on this for Trey. This is going to be Trey's tractor. And we got to do a little bit of work on the clutch because it's not quite right for him.
Hi.
George is over here on another tractor. He's up on the 620. So this is a stronger rim.
I guess the 1290 stronger, but they're kind of ugly. See how this lip comes up? You can see this.
Uh-huh.
And on the 1274 and the 1268, there might be other ones I don't know about, but those are the 3 we have. Those are a lot prettier. You don't see that lip, it's on the inside.
Oh, okay. All right.
These are very, if you look on the inside of this one, you can see like all the steps. We're on this one, it's like a dish.
Okay.
Smooth.
Did he soap that with soap at all? Is that just built up?
You power washed it.
Oh, okay.
It just falls off.
Okay. Yeah, it's a bit different. So we have a question. How do you cream honey? Creamed honey, basically you start with honey that is already naturally converting to a solid honey and mix it with liquid honey. So like when I have sunflower honey, the sunflower for some reason solidifies faster, and at a cooler temperature it kind of accelerates it. So if I store it on a shelf in the basement pantry, it turns to solid honey faster. And what happens is the sugar granules are very fine when it happens naturally. If you force it, then it's grainy. It feels different on your tongue.
Yeah, we'll do all 12 of them.
So what you're doing is you're mixing some semi-solid. You can whip it, you can stir it.
We'll do the other side just like we do that.
If you whip it, you have to be careful that the whipping action doesn't heat it up, and that's how you get creamed honey. It's very nice for like spreading on toast or bagels. I really like a I like a cream cheese bagel with a little bit of honey on it, or with homemade jam. It is the best. So with those creamed honey containers, it's a nice size that you can keep right out. And you should know, don't put your honey in the refrigerator. It makes it impossible to use properly. You guys are doing a good job here.
All we have to do now is get that lifting on this wall side under that part of the wheel now. So then
His trick is my dish soap. We mix up some soapy water, and then these are, some people call them tire irons or spoons, but he uses them 3, sometimes 4, and goes around and slips each one in. So if you've never seen a tire job before, this is going to be interesting for you to see how he does this. We never have had a tire done at a tire place.
So this is a slow one to watch because we have a tube in it. We have to
Yeah.
make sure we don't bite.
Yes, we always put tubes in our tires. It makes them really long lasting. And with farm implements, you run into things. He's getting set up here. Hi, Isaiah. I'm glad you made it. I like reading your comments. I looked into you before. You don't have a channel, do you? I think you've got some interesting information to share with people. I have seen tire changers, different styles. And I don't know about Harbor Freight. You know how it is. You use it once or twice. Done. But I have seen tire changers for sale on Craigslist. If you see, he's got Trey here helping him. Trey is 9 years old. And he is becoming an expert tire guy also because he always has a hand in everything. Your kids can't learn if you don't teach them or if somebody doesn't teach them.
Should I pull this one out now?
I'm reaching in to feel for the tube.
One more.
I'll tell you, I do not do tires myself. It is nice to have work help. Trey and his brother just were helping me clean out manure out of the barn. And you know what they say, misery loves company. That is one of the poopiest jobs ever to have to do. But when you've got a nice guy to talk to, it helps. Or if you've got a pretty girl helping you. I got to get one of the guys here to get me a power cord, but you see he just got it all on. I hope you saw it.
that airs all the air coming out from in between the tube and the tire, so it blows out here for a while. Oh, hold on, don't. Yep, turn it off.
Well, he's going to air this up. I'm going to grab a charger because I know we've got a low battery. And for some reason, when I'm on YouTube, it doesn't show me where I'm at unless I slide it down. Look at these guys hanging out here. He's working on this box. Did you decide to look at the instructions? I see they're moved. Yep. You're getting it. Good job, good job. All right. I am here for...
That staple gun.
Oh, my. Oh. Say hi to everybody, Jack, while I dig for a charger. Jack is a artist of noises.
And comedian. What are the boxes for, or the holes in the side of the box for?
Ventilation. If your bees are in a box like this, they have to have ventilation or they can overheat and die.
Oh, these are for bees.
Yeah, and the bees that I had got in a box similar to this didn't have enough ventilation, and I lost a lot of bees. So I went with this design. If you're wondering why I did a different one than what I reviewed, they didn't have the Easy Nuke or Nuke available. Great. So that is it. And
I feel like if I take the lid off, it will fall apart because we didn't add staples.
because we didn't staple it, yep. All right, well, that's what it is, everybody. See, it's just a simple box. They get you. Here's another simple box. I'll go back and show you. Guy needed some new boots, and I went shopping on eBay. These are a CA8528. He had a different one called a Grizzly, and they were insulated, and he's been wearing them year-round, and they're just too hot in the summertime, and he's been wearing them for years. So we had to get him some non-insulated. There's padding on them, but they have a steel shank. He is on his feet and doing stuff all day. He needed something for some support. So I ordered him some boots, and they showed up the other day. And if you want your boots to last... Hello, Michael from Southwest Michigan. We are in mid-central Michigan. You know how that goes. You say central Michigan and people think that you're up north by central Michigan, and we're not. Getting some lug nuts tightened up here. You know, we just got a comment about Red Wing boots. We used to do Red Wing boots, and he was having trouble with them falling apart.
Pulling them in half.
Yeah, literally pulling them in half. So we tried Georgia boots and these Carolinas. Trey, are yours Georgia boots?
By central.
I think yours are Georgia.
By central Michigan, she means.
Murdoch says, by central Michigan, let me give you my address.
I'm not gonna give.
He's a funny guy. We do have a P.O. box, and it's on our channel. You know, we do get fan mail from time to time. We always appreciate that. You're always welcome to do that and leave your comments on the videos. Around us, we've had a hard time with boot suppliers. We have a bad valve on that hose, and we just have not gotten to swapping it out yet. So like I said, Trey is 9 years old. Yes, they are going to come back and look at these videos and enjoy watching them. I started making these videos quite a few years ago. Trey was just a tiny baby. One of his videos was him getting his first haircut. And now he's this big man running an impact wrench. His brothers used to make a lot of Thomas the Train Engine videos, and I would film them. I don't think he likes what you're doing, Missy. George is where he wants to be, and his sister is interfering. Do you need help? Do you want down? I have heard good things about Wolverine boots, but if you're in Michigan, they don't have a good reputation. There was some kind of a spill where they were burying barrels of some kind of waste product. And the way we see it, we're here temporarily, but we're stewards to the land. And I don't want to get biblical, but we want to leave this all here for the next generations. And if we don't have to support a company known to do something like that, we're not going to. He's telling them right now how to use the jack. I can't get over there long enough on this cord. His neat trick is he stacks up all these wood blocks and puts the jack up on it. If you are familiar with farm jacks, they are widow makers for a reason. And the last time he had me helping him use one, it got me. So we just don't rely on that too much. Bottle jacks are pretty handy. Right here, we're farming about 120 acres. This year, the spring planting did not happen because of the wetness. So we have been working on some disking and getting ready to plant some more land that wasn't previously planted this year. I think, how many acres is that Northfield, Trey? Everything. Well, we've got a lot of hay planted right now here at this farm. We just harvested the oats and rye. So we just got the straw up all in the loft for that a couple of days ago. And the barn's about to get filled right up with more hay. We just really wanted to get on the tractors and have some good running tractors. These are the John Deere 2-cylinder tractors, all from the early 1950s. Michael, I give you congratulations for doing a roof on a barn. That is a hard job to do. On top of everything else in farming, we have an old barn here. And like I said, I've been cleaning the manure out of it. We just went and bought 8 bags of concrete to fix up a corner that a post is supposed to be sitting on. And I said, we need to get it fixed up so that post is sitting right. With all that hay up in the loft, it needs to be able to do its job good. The thing about these old tractors holding up is, number one, John Deere suppliers. They want to keep you in there. You can get parts like crazy. I know Baby Bear's being really loud, isn't he?
You wouldn't believe what you can get for these. As old as they are.
money-wise? Or parts?
Parts, right from the parts counter. Like half the stuff you check on, weird clutch parts, rare things. 'Cause they'll search the nation for what's left, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The last part we bought, there was one left of something that came from Atlanta.
Yeah.
We had it like 2 days. Yeah. So.
I understand what you're saying, Michael, about the corn. Here, a lot of farms did sugar beets and corn and have stopped doing that. And hay is a great cash crop if you can tolerate the customers. It's hard to make time to deal with people. We find a lot of people wanting to come Saturday at 1 or 2 o'clock, and it's because the local auctions all end selling hay usually between 11 and noon. So if they strike out at the auction, then they want to come use up your time to come check out your hay. So if they got hay at the auction, they don't usually cancel checking out your hay, and then you're sitting there waiting on Saturday when you've got things to do. I'm tethered to a charger right now, so Trey's gonna check the air pressure in his rear tires here. Hi to Australia, my goodness, welcome. Glad to have you. A lot of dairy farms going out of business here too. Low prices on milk, too many cows, too much debt acquired for everything required to milk the cows and feed the cows and farm the land, and the creditors just keep on giving them more credit with the milk prices getting low. And we've saw in the last, like, I'd say two years, the most amount of dairies closing that have been dairy farms for generations, that like the last generation, say, you know, like the grandkids and great grandkids of the farmer who founded the dairy, just taking on too much debt. And, you know, that's the thing about these old tractors. We didn't have to go into debt to buy the tractor. This tractor just got a water pump rebuild. It needed a new belt on the generator. The tires were on hand, but, you know, for that little bit of money, this tractor had been sitting needing repair for 7 years without time to work on it. And we got some time and we got the parts. Everything came out and she's going to be back in use. He took it for a ride yesterday to test it. I don't think I could ever work on a dairy farm. Not for, you know, any, like, I don't think that it's, some people say it's inhumane, you know, to work them. I know they want to be milked. Number one, I don't do mornings. Not at all. But to do it over and over. I have a baby who nurses, and I have to deal with milking with him far too much. He's 2 now. It's time to start weaning him. A house and all the milk you could drink. That's pretty great. All right, since I'm going to be tethered, they've all left me. I'll do the best I can. I know I'm slow at this. Trying to read your comments and everything else. That battery getting low, it didn't help me. I kind of half wondered, speaking of my battery getting low, they were saying what was wrong with the Suburban could be the battery related or these control modules. And I was wondering if this generic phone charger I plugged in zapped it out, because it was within, you know, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes of when I plugged my phone in, or I thought I had plugged my phone in. My son was riding next to me and he'd actually plugged in his Kindle, and I thought, it wasn't, I don't like to buy those chargers at like gas stations and hardware stores and whatever. But this thing had been kicking around in the car for probably a year, and I thought, oh, let's see if it works. And all of a sudden today, then I got trouble. Could be related, maybe not. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, a lot of farms around here have worker houses that they, as part of the pay, supply them with a tenancy. So they give them a home for their family, generally not, in the best repair. And, you could nickel and dime yourself since it's a free house fixing it up, but, is that going to all be worth it in the end? Kind of a give and take, if you want to do that or not. Pay customers can be very hard to deal with. I have found if it is somebody buying for livestock, especially goats or sheep, mostly it's goat customers. They're usually grateful for anything that they get from you. They usually want to fill their barn as much as they can. Goats don't eat a whole lot, but a lot of the people around here are having, a half a dozen goats or so. So they're real nice, little chatty, so they kind of take up your time. And in general, we call them horse people around here, are generally a little fussy. They want to make an appointment to come look at hay. And I will tell you, I've said it before, have a 5 bale minimum. That way they're coming to buy at least 5 bales, and that's going to take care of your time so you can get paid. Make it 8 bales, whatever. So I just found 5 works pretty decent for me. We've had some people around that are rabbit breeders, and they 1 bale. That's okay if it's not going to interfere with your day, but like in the wintertime, I don't want to have to shovel the driveway or plow it out to sell 1 bale of hay, because, like rabbit hay at the pet store, it's $4 or $5 for a little bag. I don't know, like a potato chip size bag. I used to raise rabbits for meat, and we're not doing it now, but I will tell you, it is the best meat in the crock pot ever. You just have to watch those little bones, and since we have little people, it got kind of too hard cleaning out pens and dealing with all that. So, no bunnies for a little while. We drink a lot of milk here too. Generally 4 or 5 gallons. It's about a gallon a person per week mostly. The little ones not as much. But we like our milk. We have a semi-near to us dairy. If you're in Michigan, look it up. It's called Moville Milk. They are out of Nashville, Michigan. And they have a pretty widespread, it's not statewide yet, but they go around to different stores. They have like actual grocery stores. They have party stores, gas stations, and they have what's called cream line. So it has the cream in the milk. You have to give it a good shake, but it is non-homogenized. It's pasteurized for bacteria, but it's real healthy. Google it, look it all up. My mom calls it our special milk. She always thinks it's organic and stuff, and it's not. It's a little more money per gallon. We pay about $4.50 a gallon. I was at Walmart months ago, and milk was like $1.25 a gallon, and I thought, how do the dairies even stay in business with a milk price like that? So, I'd like to support the local dairy. I'd like to protect my heart and, kind of keep my cholesterol in check. So we drink this non-homogenized milk. It's just real interesting. Write it down, Moville Milk. Check it out sometime. They have like health food stores around kind of different areas, but you can generally, if you don't have Moville Milk in Michigan, raw milk is always a nice way to go if you can too. I know a lot of people are scared of that, but this is kind of as close to raw milk as you can get. Maybe I can, you were talking about bartering for some milk. There's a lot of goat farmers around here. I could probably barter some hay, and now that we have straw, this is the first time we've had our own straw on the farm, for some goat milk. That would be a great way to go. But, like here at the grocery store, you get like, maybe, is it like a quart of milk? It ranges anywhere from maybe $4 to $6, depending what store you get it at. So I don't know what the actual...
$4 a quart.
Yeah, yeah. And a couple other stores nearby. There's a Horrocks Farmers Market that we've been to, and theirs was like 6 something. I just thought, why is the same milk so much higher? We make our own home ice cream, and I have to get whipping cream and half for that, and it's way more money. Yeah, we did oat straw. We did oat hay several years ago when we first planted our hayfield, and I hated it. It was so like stemmy, and it was a nightmare for what they didn't eat, what it left in the bedding. But this oat straw is real fine and nice. The combine chopped it up real small, and then rye, and baled it up. Now my father-in-law, he did a hybrid, and it's an oat rye hybrid, and he did round bales. We do still have the John Deere hammer mill for grinding feed. Right now we have been doing rye, oats, and corn. We just ran out of beans. We've done sunflowers in the past. We've got all the different hammer mill, what are they called? Screens for that. And we actually, when we bought it, we got a second set of screens for it. We have a cyclone that goes on the top that helps reduce the amount of dust. And for some reason, we haven't got that part hooked up. We have a PVC pipe running that was running to like a feed room in the barn. That's a project I've been working on right now. And we just ran a different PVC line to a feed bin. So let's check on this battery situation right here. It says my battery is going low, but I'm plugged in. I think I got a bad charger. So if I lose you, we're gonna save the rye for reseeding and for feeding. We are storing it in a trailer right now. Is it called drop bottom? Hopper. And it's not easy to feed out of it, but I just keep a little kid's wading pool underneath it, and I have my feed scoop there. I go there, I get how many buckets I need, and we take it over to the grinder or feed it whole. So we don't have any baby chickens, no baby ducks right now, no full size. Kind of taking the summer off from that. We have a huge raccoon population going on right now, and opossums. We don't have the family dog around, so I think the family dog scent, and marking the entire yard kind of kept it for a while. So I think, there's talk always on and off about getting a family pet, but I've got little kids to run after. So my cows are my pets and my pigs are my pets. We call it the old chicken shed or rabbit shed. It is like a standing building granary, more for like ear corn. And we moved a bin here. We had, before we bought the farm, the previous owners auctioned off the green bin, and it moved down the road a couple of miles. So since the foundation was here, we had actually been at an auction and was able to pick up a green bin. What did we pay for that? Like $300?
Hauled it 80 miles.
Yeah, we did. We put it up on a hay wagon and brought the roof back in a separate piece, and we got it back to our farm, and it's up on the foundation. So he anchored it down and put some tar around it and some fabric between the layers, made it all good as new. So we got the corn storage, the grain storage. Right now we just need to fill them up. We're thinking we're going to plant more hay. We've got the hay seed here. We had plans for doing the sunflowers, but we couldn't get them in early enough to have them done in time to plant like late August, September hay into more fields. We did used to like the auctions a lot. Kind of around us, there's a few different like farm and machinery auctions. it gets addictive and you start to buy things that you don't necessarily need. This whole middle section of this shop, beyond the toolbox, is about a truckload full of stuff that we kind of got that came with other stuff, and we need to sort through it, and we don't have the shelves for it, so it's taking up floor space. We were actually talking the other day, it would be pretty nice to put a loft up in the part of the barn that's like the car garage and use that space instead of just have all that wasted space above the Suburban, because, you know, it's, well, we've got a 14-foot garage door on it, or 12. We got a 12.5-foot garage door on it. So 14 feet. The bus only takes up 8 feet. Could put a loft. We've got a loft over at the tool shed section of the shop here. It's actually, this is the original, and where I park is another section that was added on later. So we actually, we got a question from Michael about what kind of seed do we use. And we found in our area not to plant one type of seed. You've got to do a pasture mix. So they make it up special for you for your specifications. And ours has vernal alfalfa. And you can look into that. It is old-fashioned, non-hybrid alfalfa, and the bees love it. They do great on it. It is huge pollen for them. We do a red and a white clover. There's like 3 different kinds of grasses. There's Timothy. What else? Orchard grass. Brome. Fescue. See, there's all kinds of stuff in it. I used to watch another YouTuber, and he just went on and on about his Kentucky grass and how he was cutting grass all the time. And I thought, why aren't you making hay? You know, well, essentially he was doing hay, and he couldn't figure out why nobody would buy it. And horses like grassy hay, but in a season like last summer, it was so dry, the grass didn't grow, it died out, the roots died out, and people had to go back and replant their hay fields. So the alfalfa has really deep roots, and they can get to water that the grass can't get to. And it protected the clover during the dry season, so that last year the clover came up massive in the 3rd cutting, but they weren't like straight clover bales. So his dad has a field that the clover was just tremendous. I don't know if it was 100% clover or not, but you got to get it just right. And again, the bees love the clover, so. So Michael, you're in Southwest Michigan, is that right? It would be nice if hay went to $9 a bale. I will tell you one thing though. We do not sell off our hay as fast as we cut it. So we won't sell it straight out of the field to save the work. We don't mind the work. It's part of farming. And if you sell it all off, and something comes up, or 3rd cutting turns bad, or like last year, you know, everyone was gangbusters on their 1st cutting. They sold them for like $3 to $4 a bale. 2nd cutting, it was too dry. If you cut it, you were going to kill it. So then people waited. So they didn't have a 3rd cutting because they were cutting when they should have been 3rd cutting, doing 2nd cutting. And if you sold it off, then you were kind of out of luck. If you hold onto it in the winter, that's right. Winter is a perfect time to sell hay. That's what I was getting around to. So if you can keep your driveway cleared out, we've been putting in a dirt driveway so we can have a perfect turnaround, because you'd be surprised how many people buy hay. I've made videos. They didn't even know that towing trailers were, towing mirrors are available as an add-on, or that there are separate towing mirrors to buy on a truck when you buy your truck. So yep, that Kentucky grass, if it's just grass, it'll just die. So Isaiah, where are you at? I don't remember. So winter is a great time to sell it, because the hay auctions here are Tuesday in one direction, Saturday in another direction, and they're going to go and buy the cheapest hay they can, and then they're going to squawk about the hay that they did get. The nice thing about selling hay at an auction is you don't have to deal with the customer. But in all honesty, then you have to hope that the auctioneer is going to pay you, number one. And number two, hope that it doesn't rain between the time you drop it off and the time it gets auctioned. Because if it gets rained on, you're out of luck. Maybe you could tarp it and leave it there. But yes, you can get $9 a bale. We have in general been getting $8 a bale for our hay as non-sprayed, no acid, preservative. We don't use a sprayer on anything for chemicals or for insecticides. It's just organic hay, and people will come and buy that. And even if, like, I've got a lady that buys it for her chickens because she wants something better for her chickens and to keep them from pecking at each other, she'll give them our hay instead of straw for bedding. And then they're happy and healthy little chicks. So it's a good way to go. So yes, hold out. Don't sell it. I saw hay. Yep, Lake Odessa. That's Tuesday. And I've heard of people going there. Delaware. Oh my. Okay. You're in one of those tiny little states. I had the hardest time with that when I was a little kid, trying to learn my states, all that cluster of little states all together. You're going to be getting some of this weather here. It was cloudy coming your way. Very cloudy today. My friend Warren over there in Canada has been getting terrible weather all year. And I get the weather before he gets it. And then sometimes he gets it all together because it went south of Michigan, so then we didn't get it. So I feel for him. But Warren has some baby calves right now. And I'm trying to talk him into making some videos. So Warren, if you're watching this, get some videos. I want to see those grandkids with those calves. When I pause, I want you to know I'm having to hit, it won't keep live chat open for me. So I have to keep tapping on it. Are you saying ex-wife from Texas? If that was a clue. Little guy is over there. Trey? Georgie's over there in the dark and he needs some help. I can't get untethered here. Oh, sorry about that, Isaiah. It happens. That's right. All right, guys. Well, it is kind of getting dark. I know I'm low on battery. I can't untether, and baby is off in the distance. As much as I like talking to you, I probably should get back to work. Michael, one last question to answer for you. Yes, we had a ton of weeds. This was the year for thistle around here, and as soon as we got it cut, the mare's tail and the ragweed is popping up drastically. We spread our manure in the field, and there is hayseed in it like crazy. So we have kind of a cover crop of clover in most of the areas of the field where we harvested, and it did suppress the weeds some because we are growing organic. We're not out there spraying it. There's definitely weeds. One area where we had planted, there was more thistle than crop, so we just disked it down, and that's gonna get all down. So that is that. So thanks for watching, everybody. I gotta go. It's late. We still haven't had dinner, and I was late getting here, so that's how it goes. So in 2 days, there is another video coming out. Remember to hit the like button for us. Remember to subscribe. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for being patient, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.